Mom, for the last time, I will push you down a flight of stairs. I'm just kidding. My mom's dead. What it do, guys? How is it going with you at your house, place where you live? I want to tell you a review through your computer screen with all this headroom, and so I'm gonna do that now. Today is gonna be for Inside Out. Inside Out is about a young girl named Riley. She moves from her home to a new place in San Francisco, and it's about the emotions in her head, what she's feeling, and the role these emotions play in how she's perceived to the people around her. The emotions are disgust, anger, joy, fear, and sadness. This film comes from Pixar, and Pixar has been in somewhat of a slump. I don't know if you can call it a slump if it's not like terrible, but they've been in a semi-slump. They've been doing this with each other. It was likely brought on by Brave and Cars 2, because, I mean, Brave wasn't terrible, but Cars 2, we're just not going to talk about that because it's real bad. Real bad. So they revisited a previous property in Monsters University, and that film didn't have the best critical perception, but it was still a lot better received than some of the stuff they did before, like Cars 2. So I was excited to see this because I was convinced. Convinced that this was going to be Pixar's return to form, and it certainly is. Inside, this is hair. This is hair. This film comes from Pete Docter with an E, not an O. I made that mistake once, never again. Director Pete Docter, who previously directed Up and Monsters, Inc., has expertly crafted a sophisticated and intelligent animated film. I went into this expecting a good Pixar film, and I left having seen a great film. There was a Q&A after the screening, and in that Q&A, Pete Docter himself said that he didn't design this to be a good kids film, but rather he designed this to be a good film. And it just so happens to be suitable for children. That was a cool tidbit. I was like, ooh. This film is intelligent in the way it executes these emotions, because the emotions don't work on their own. You know what I'm saying? The emotions have their own emotions, so it's not like sadness is always sad. That's her dominant emotion, but sometimes she's happy. She's like, oh, remember that one film with the dead dog? That was the best. No. Another element I didn't expect was how funny this is. I laughed quite a bit in this film, mainly at one character whom I don't want to mention because he pretty much makes the film, and it was great to be introduced to this character in the theater for the first time. But once you see him, you'll know him, you'll be like, it takes a while for him to grow on you. Keep that in mind. But he does after a while, and then he makes you cry, which is another aspect of this film that was great. I cried once. One time, I shed a single solitary man tear, and a man tear is different from a regular tear because a man tear, you cry it, and then it actually blends with your face. So no one can actually know you're crying. You just look like you're squinting really hard. I don't know what that was. That was my Eric Bana Hulk face. I haven't cried like that since I did in Interstellar, which is not something I'm proud to say. But I'm a man, so I'm gonna say it. Or at least I'm a 0.75% of a man. Wait a minute. 75% of a man, not 0.75. No. This film is also very free-spirited, and I mean that in, I know it's a weird word to use. I know. You'd think that where this story is going, with the emotion, with joy and sadness going on this adventure, you'd think that this film is going a certain way, and it really doesn't. It goes off the well-worn path and becomes different, and I appreciated that because it wasn't predictable. At no point in this film was like, I know where this is going, except for obviously in the final act, because you saw everything prior and you can connect dots because you're not an idiot. But why am I saying you're? I'm not an idiot. I mean, I am now. I think this film can be enjoyed by kids and adults, and the kids will simply be entertained by the vibrant colors and the energetic characters. The adults will be interested in the sophisticated jokes. I spit everywhere. Everywhere. The sophisticated jokes and the incredibly mature sense of humor. Obviously there's slapstick stuff like people falling down and they're like, oopsie doozy. But there's also a lot of jokes that are definitely going to go over the kid's head. Definitely going to go over the kids' heads. And then they'll revisit it later on and go, oh, I didn't get that, but now I do. Like with Shrek for my generation. I think what really sells this film, for me at least, is the vocal performances. The vocal performances here are on point. They're on fleek. The vocal performances are very good. Amy Poehler does a great job as this energetic character. And in the Q&A, she said she got a lot of inspiration from Tom Hanks' vocal performance in Toy Story. And I think she did a very good job playing this potentially a really obnoxious character and doing it in such a fashion that the character didn't come off as annoying, but instead she came off as lovable. Which is, I like that. I appreciated that quite a bit. You know what I'm saying? Sadness, voiced by Phyllis Smith, she did a fine job. I think her voice is naturally, like, airy. Like, there's an air to her voice. That was more or less a voice crack. Also, Lewis Black is Anger. He's funny. I like that. Bill Hader as Fear is excellent. I think it's a scream more than anything else that gives way to a comedic sense to the character. I laughed at everything Fear did. The most underutilized character here and the least publicized in the media is Disgust, and that should not be the case because she was amazing. Mindy from the Mindy Project voices her, and I was like, ooh, good stuff, good stuff. So all in all, this is a remarkably poignant, funny, and clever film, and I think it can be enjoyed by adults and children alike. You should all go into this movie, you should watch it and be like, oh my goodness, that was good. And then you'll leave and you'll probably do something, like eat at Five Guys, or McDonald's, or go to an organic picnic. I'm going to recommend that you check this film out in theaters this weekend, but I'd say do so at matinee price, which is technically my form of a B. So, because I don't do regular grading systems because I'm a teenager and I want to be different and I have a lot of angst in my body. My back is all red, like a sunburn. Alright, so thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe. These fingers aren't pointing at anything useful. I'm not putting annotations, and I spit everywhere.